a patriotic message, a message about strengthening Canada's economy. That message? Buy Canadian. Since the tariff dispute began, he has repeated it at every opportunity. Support Canadian businesses. Keep your dollars here at home. It's economic patriotism from every podium, every press conference, and every television camera surrounded by a lot of uhs and ums. We understand the message. And we're not here to critique his public speaking. What we're here to examine is whether his actions match his words. Because there are questions that deserve answers, questions that, remarkably, much of Canada's legacy media hasn't been asking. Now, to understand today's story, we need to build a timeline. Because this goes well beyond British Columbia condo buyouts, beyond paying full market value for developments that private buyers won't touch, and beyond plans to repurpose those same projects into affordable housing. This is about something much bigger. From this point forward, every time this federal government spends another dollar, remember where that dollar comes from. It isn't sitting in a bank account. It's borrowed. Borrowed against a generation where nearly half of young Canadians no longer believe they'll ever own a home. And borrowed against another generation that hasn't even been born yet. Today, Canada spends roughly $1 billion every week just to service its federal debt. Not to build roads, not to build schools, not to improve health care, just to pay the interest. Now place that beside this. Over the past decade, Canada's quality of life ranking has fallen from 9th in the world to 27th. During that same period, more than $1 trillion in investment left this country, and the debt accumulated over the last decade now exceeds the combined borrowing used to finance every previous war, every highway, every major social program, and generations of public infrastructure before it. More money has been spent than the sum total of every government in Canada's history, yet Canadians are watching their standard of living move in the opposite direction. It's inside that timeline that today's story begins. Now, we could start tracing the decline in Canada back to the 2015 election that had Justin Trudeau elected under a slogan of unshackling the scientists, where this was the driver for climate alarmism and attacks meant to fix the weather. At this time, on the Numbeo Quality of Life Index, Canada was ranked in 9th place. Respectable. Affordable. We could start in 2018 when the Trudeau government had to buy the Kinder Morgan TMX expansion for 2 times its value to keep from being sued due to severe political opposition, prolonged regulatory delays, and jurisdictional battles. We could start in this same year with the introduction of Bill C-48, the oil tanker ban, and Bill C-69 replacing the National Energy Board. Canada had already shifted to 16th place on Numbeo. But we're going to move directly to 2020 when Mark Carney took a seat at the table as Justin Trudeau's economic advisor. Because by 2020, the quality of life in Canada, and according to Numbeo, had slipped to 18th place. 5 years, 9 places lost. But the future was looking brighter. It took a government who proved that the budget would, in fact, not balance itself and introduced an economist. Degrees from both Oxford and Harvard. Former governor of the Bank of Canada. Former governor of the Bank of England. Mark Carney, presumably, had the ledger. Costs of living rising. Quality of life declining. Businesses and investment fleeing this country. Presumably, had a benchmark from his days with the Bank of Canada to hold up against the current version. Now, we need to fill in this landscape, but like every puzzle, we're going to build out the frame. From 2020, Canada being 18th in quality of life to today, 27th place. As in, the accredited economic advisor to the Trudeau government in 2020 is now managing a country that has slipped another 9 places in quality of life. And what does this look like? Food banks running out of food. 1/3 of its children going to bed hungry. Canadians dying in emergency rooms, on gurneys, and waiting for surgery. Schools at capacity. 17 Canadians going insolvent every single hour. And in this frame, up until the combined press conference from yesterday from Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith and Prime Minister Mark Carney, the good news about a pipeline extension is still shrouded in the destructive policies that landed Canada in 27th place and as the only G7 country in a recession. A deal so bad that no private investor will come close to it. A deal so bad that it has to be financed through taxpayer dollars. A deal that, by the people who would have built this, was deemed unfinanceable. A deal where a pipeline that is being built to Tidewater is still restricted from Tidewater because Bill C-48, the oil tanker ban, remains in place. Now, let's fill in the rest of this puzzle. March 2025, Mark Carney won Liberal leadership. And this is a story of its own. The first sitting MP, Chandra Arya, to announce his candidacy to replace Justin Trudeau, was disqualified. Mark Carney was elected in Arya's riding. An incumbent Liberal member of Parliament was prohibited from running for leadership, and then did not receive the Liberal nomination in his own riding. Mark Carney ran in that riding, and won. You can take from that what you wish. Mark Carney was sworn in as the 24th Prime Minister of Canada on March 14, 2025. 6 weeks later, the federal election confirmed his mandate. His history with Brookfield was not a secret. But it was only at this point that Canadians began to understand that, while Mr. Carney was not in a chair at Brookfield, he was holding some $9.6 million worth of stocks and stock options. He was conflicted. Deeper dives into these conflicts were troubling going back to 2022, when Brookfield moved its primary stock listing from the Toronto Stock Exchange to New York. On the surface, this could look like a sound move for attracting new investment and greater liquidity in a larger market. But we are going to add this to November of 2024, when Brookfield Asset Management uprooted its head office from Toronto to New York. Restructuring, they claimed. Announced on the eve of Trump's election, as his tariff plans were becoming impossible to ignore. The Canadian economy that Mark Carney had advised on was about to take a direct hit. The company he was advising for could see the writing on the wall, and fled, now. Brookfield still continues on with business inside of Canada. They're just not primarily located here. And under Mark Carney's government, Brookfield has received 77 contracts. But Canadians are being asked to overlook this because while to the untrained eye this may look like a conflict of interest, Mark Carney's investments are held in a blind trust. As in, how would Mark even know that additional business flowing to a company that he holds stock in would profit from them? Now, I want you to understand something here, and we've talked about this in our previous episode. It's a word. Not a word that will bring $1 trillion of investment back to Canada. Not a word that will work to make life more affordable. Not a word that will recover a single position for Canada on its quality of life. That word is decarbonize. Decarbonize is both a regulatory process and a taxation implemented on Canadian businesses. It is something that is said to make us more competitive on a global scale. Other countries who are not decarbonizing and who are not in a recession would buy more from Canadian manufacturing and energy production because ours is decarbonized. That is what we are told. That is what we were being told as $1 trillion of investment made an exodus, and it is still what we are being told today. Now, in our timeline, and as Canadians are chewing on the decarbonized apple, on April 3rd of 2025, Brookfield acquired Colonial Pipeline in the United States. 5,500 miles of pipeline that stretches from Houston, Texas to New York Harbor. This was 20 days after Mark Carney became Prime Minister. Brookfield did not buy Colonial Pipeline because of tanker bans. It was not investing in this venture because the products shipped through this pipeline were decarbonized. It's worth pausing here. The man leading Brookfield's ESG and Impact Fund investment strategy in October of 2020 was Mark Carney. And in that role, Carney made a claim. He claimed that Brookfield's $600 billion portfolio was carbon neutral. The basis for that claim? Brookfield had a large renewable energy portfolio, and all the avoided emissions that come with that. In February of 2021, Carney retracted it. Analysts called it accounting tricks. As in, avoided emissions. The energy a renewable portfolio did not produce from fossil fuels do not cancel out the actual emissions from Brookfield's investments in coal and other fossil fuels. Brookfield's carbon footprint was approximately 5,200 metric tons of carbon dioxide. The man asking Canadians to decarbonize their economy had to retract the claim that his own company was doing it, because they weren't. Now, Alberta sits on top of proven reserves of 167 billion barrels of oil and 130 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. It holds approximately 95% of Canada's oil reserves. And the man who has the ability to pave a pathway for the development of this resource by removing the choke points on environmental regulations, tanker bans, and the climate weather tax that makes additional pipeline capacity unfinanceable, continues to profit from a company that is not restricted by them. Mark Carney was not elected with a majority government, and we are not going to talk about how he sits with one right now. We've already covered this at length, and you already know. But what we will talk about is legislation that his government has just fast-tracked instead of removing choke points and working to return $1 trillion of investment back to Canada. Bill C-9, Bill C-22, and Bill C-34, because like decarbonization, these two will not restore the quality of life to Canada. Bill C-9 removes religious exemptions from Canada's hate speech laws. Bill C-22 allows Canadians to be tracked through their cellular devices. And Bill C-34, sold as protecting children from social media, is a mandatory identity and age registration program. As in, every Canadian who wants to be on social media will be required to register their identity to do it. We have covered all three of these in depth in our Building the Rhyme series. If you haven't watched them, scroll back in your feed. We took 3 episodes to break these down because there is just that much to it. Online regulations are not what Canada needs to pull it out of a recession. Now, let's talk about the type of regulations that could be fast-tracked that would. Brookfield, in addition to their taxpayer-funded condo bailout in British Columbia, has received 77 contracts under Mark Carney. They do not pay Canadian taxes. Brookfield Asset Management's holding company is registered in Bermuda. Bermuda has no corporate income tax. From Bermuda, Brookfield routes operations through subsidiary structures in the Cayman Islands, Luxembourg, Jersey, and the Isle of Man. These are not branch offices. They are the legal architecture through which income flows and through which Canadian tax obligations are managed down to near zero on a significant portion of Brookfield's earnings. Tax analysts who have reviewed the available filings estimate the range of Canadian taxes avoided through this structure at $5.3 billion to $6.5 billion over the past decade. This is not illegal. It is the structure. And the structure is the point. A bicycle shop in Bermuda. That is what sits at the top of the financial architecture of a company holding $16.6 billion in Canadian government contracts. We'll let you decide what legislation in this situation should look like. Now, we open this episode with a message from Mark Carney. Buy Canadian. He asks you to pay more and support local. Before we get to the big picture, we'd like to take a moment to thank all of those who have reached out.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed your Canada Day. I noticed there wasn't any cake out there to be eaten, so I guess nobody choked on the cake. And I've got a few comments in here. Look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You know, I'll tell you somebody. You're really not Canadian. Comments like that. If you don't like beer, maybe you like a little wine, maybe. Or maybe you like a little whiskey, or maybe you whatever. But, you know, I'm not here for you to tell me what I'm going to do or not going to do. I tell you that right now. And how I do my show and the amount of time that you stop in to listen to the show is up to you. I don't really give a fuck. Because that's the point. A lot of you Canadians, I mean, aside from my audience, mind you, because that's the only ones that seem to care about their country are the ones that are tuning in. But a lot of others, there's 49 million of you that don't tune in and don't give a fuck. And somebody's going to make comments about me having a beer. Well, this is Canada. And a lot of us like drinking beer on a hot fucking day. And that's why I don't have a fucking shirt on. Because I'm not going to sit here, sweat my balls off, just to give you a fucking broadcast. If you don't like it, tune into a different show. Best advice I can give you. So you've all heard about Brookfield. And the fact that Brookfield doesn't pay a lot of taxes in Canada and all the rest of it just now. I mean, if you listened closely, you really realize that Mark Carney's a snake in the grass, to be honest with you. And no, I'm not gonna fork out my ID or any other fucking shit to be on social media. So if they want to wipe me off social media, you guys are then out of luck. Because I'm not gonna give a fuck either. You want to wipe me off social media? All the power to you. Now, look at this. Here's another one. Look at that. See how ignorant people are in Canada or wherever this guy is? I mean, that's just sheer ignorance, jealousy, complete failure upstairs, you know? That's the mentality of Canadians. I watched a guy go to an Independence, Alberta guy, go to a Canada rally, and they were sponsoring Stay Canada, Stay United Canada, this kind of bullshit going on. Well, the independence movement is talking about breaking away from a corrupt government. Basically, that's the long and short of it. Albertans have pretty much had enough, and they want to break away from having a corrupt government in Canada. That's the bottom line, okay? And all these little Canadians think they know something. They come at this guy with this statement and that statement and all bullshit because they don't know what the fuck's going on. The bottom line, people, is if you want to stay under a corrupt government, then you be my guest and don't sign away for independence of Alberta. Okay? If you want to stay with a corrupt government, by all means, go get your Vaseline so you can continue getting fucked up the ass. But there's a lot of us that are kind of intelligent that don't want to continue to be fucked up the ass because they're running out of Vaseline and everything else. And it hurts, okay? It hurts desperately. When you're at the fucking food banks now and you're getting kicked out on the street and all the rest of it because you don't have enough money to support yourself and your family, you kind of have to ask yourself, maybe there's a better way. And maybe Alberta independence is that way. Because the rest of the fucking shit that's coming out of the federal government is a lot of bullshit. And if you can't see that, I have to say you're really not digging into the real question of what the fuck is going on in Canada. You'd rather go out there and wave your little pride flag and all that shit while millions of kids go hungry and kicked out on the street. We're in a recession, don't you know? And you think that getting out of a recession is just going to be okay? I mean, oh, we'll just buy our way out of it? I'll tell you a little story, okay? I'll tell you a little story. Now, this is how fucked up shit is in Canada. And this happened to me, okay? Just today. Now, brace yourself, because this is how Canada works. Over a year, I had been contacting CRA to have my GST and any other funds that I had coming to me put in directly into my CIBC account. And what started all this off was I did my taxes with H&R Block over a year ago, and they set up this thing called DC Bank, where all this money that the government was going to send me goes to DC Bank. Okay, you follow me? In that year, okay, I tried to correct that problem and have those funds put into my CIBC account because DC Bank is nothing but a fucking hassle when you're trying to get your funds out of the bank. Okay, mind you, I got all the funds, but it was a hassle every time. So finally, And I think I told you this story before, but anyway, finally I said to DC Bank, I said, close that account. I don't give a fuck how long it takes for me to get my money, but I want that account closed. 2 weeks it took DC Bank to get me my money. Okay? But it goes further. I contacted CIBC and I made sure that I went through all the steps to get that form sent to CRA to have my funds delivered to CIBC savings account, my savings account. Okay? CRA got that notice on January 18th. And guess what happened? Can you take a guess? They sent the funds again to DC Bank. After sending in a request or a form to CRA to have those funds put into the proper account, they sent it again to the DC Bank. Even after getting a form from my bank to send it to the proper account. So what happens? I get a hold of CRA today to find out exactly when they got that form, which was June 18th. And again, they sent it to DC Bank, a closed account. So then, now get this. Then it took me 4 phone calls to get through to tell them I want a supervisor to phone me to explain how it is. When I send you the information to send it to the proper account, you still send it to some other account that's already been closed. And I closed it because of the fucking hassle every time it took for me to get my funds out of DC Bank. You sent again, after me sending you the information on June 18th, which was 2 weeks or more before sending out any more money. Again, they sent it to DC Bank. So what happens? DC Bank is going to send the money back to CRA. And the money's going to come back on their desk and they're going to say, what? How can this be? Well, maybe I should look up the file and find out exactly what the fuck is going on here. Only to find out that on June the 18th, I already sent them a new bunch of regarding where to send the money. Oh, well, I guess we'll have to send it to CIBC then. Go figure. The bottom line is this. There is no real service in Canada for Canadians. They sit on their ass until something happens, like a check comes back to them, and they got to figure out, why is the check coming back? Oh, well, maybe if I open up the file and look at the file, I'll find out maybe what is going on. Duh. That's how shit happens in Canada, baby. There's no fucking service for you until some unusual thing happens. Glory be. That's how shit happens in Canada. Go figure. And they get paid $30, $40 an hour to sit there. In fact, when COVID hit, all these little motherfuckers got the opportunity to work at home. Okay? They worked at home. They didn't have to come into the office because of the phony baloney COVID-19 bullshit. All these motherfucking government employees got to work from home. And then when it came time to go back to the office, they were pissed right off. We want to stay home and work. You motherfuckers. I pay your fucking wages and you don't do shit for Canadians. Basically, that's how it is in Canada. So I put in a complaint. I want to talk to the supervisor of CRA and find out exactly why it is when I sent them in new information regarding my fucking file that they still persisted in sending it to DC Bank and still put me through all this fucking bullshit. And that's what happened today. Go figure. Anyway, I'm so sick and tired of this fucking horse shit. No, hide this. I wanna do something else here. No, this guy here. This fucking clown. No, this fucking clown. I think I fucking erased him. Block. Yeah. Block this fucking cocksucker. Oh, oops, something went wrong. Try reloading the page. Yeah, okay, you fuck. Whatever. Reload. How about that? Yeah, now there's nothing. Oh, now it came up. Where is it? Where is this fucker? Where is this fucker? No, I don't see any. It does not come up here. I have to wait. Anyway. Some of you people here are I think he's blocked. I don't know what he's fucking done here. There. This fuck. I tell you, some of you fucking ignorant fucks, I tell you, this is fucking unbelievable. Oh, reload the page again. Oh, reload. Okay, reload. Fucking bullshit. Load a fucking voicemail. I don't give a fuck. Anyway. Anyway, I'm not gonna fight with these fucking idiots here. You don't like what you're seeing and you want to come out with stinky little comments, go fuck yourself, basically. Because I don't really give a fuck. I really don't. Because that's how Canada ended up being the way it is. Because the generation before me, okay, didn't give a fuck about this country, okay? And this generation that I'm with, we did give a fuck. And we started fucking saying shit and everything else. And the carbon tax protests went wild, okay? And the fucking corrupt fucking government still didn't do shit about anything in this country regarding the people. All that happened was the prices went up, the fucking economy tanked out, Trudeau went into power, and everything got fucked. And then Carney came in, and we're still getting fucked. That's basically what's going on in this country. And nobody fucking does shit about it. Continuously. And that's Canada for you. I hope you all had a great fucking Canada Day. And I'm glad you didn't choke on the cake. Because I didn't see any cake given, did you? I seen a bunch of fireworks. Next time it'll be, I hope you don't get fucking stung up the ass with a fucking firecracker. How about that one? Maybe then they won't show any fucking fireworks. Who knows? Anyway, I don't know how much longer the broadcast is going to go on because Carney and his little bullshit rules and all that fucking shit. I'm not following Carney's bullshit. Okay? Let him contact YouTube, let him contact Facebook, and fucking have me kicked off. I don't really give a fuck. If you don't see me in the future, you'll know it's because Carney and his little fucking gang of liberal motherfuckers had me kicked off. Or maybe I get charged with hate speech. Who knows what the fuck? As far as I'm concerned, Carney and his little band of liberal motherfucking retards can shove it up their fucking ass. Plain and simple. Oh, you little motherfucking liberal motherfuckers, elbows up bullshit.
By now, you've heard what happened to hundreds of thousands of girls in England. Has happened because the Quran teaches that Christians and Jews are inferior to Muslims. Islam is an ideology of military conquest, not a religion. I call on Congress to ban the practice of Islam
This is
on
coming
American
out of the United
soil.
States, Carney.
By now, you've heard what happened to hundreds of thousands of girls
Why don't
in
you go in
England.
the States and bust
Has
this
happened
guy?
because the Quran teaches that Christians and Jews are inferior.
Why don't you go down to the States and bust that guy? You're so fucking high and mighty, you fucking fuck.
Do about it. Is it a problem?
Yeah,
What's the problem, lad?
he's got a camera in front of me, right?
Camera.
This
Yeah,
fucking
what's the
prick.
problem?
We had a disagreement about whether
This prick here.
I walked from home or not.
Listen to this. Caught a predator harassing and putting his hands on a girl and openly admitting it didn't end well. Crime, nightlife episode here. Here, let me play this for
Do
you.
not fucking push me.
Look at this.
Do you hear that? Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Do not fucking push me. Right? I'm gonna let you stand up. Do not ever put your hands on a woman. Do you understand me? Do not put your hands on a woman again. Do you understand me?
See, that's the difference
Yes?
between Canadian men and British men. British men see these fuckers, okay, putting their hands on little girls and stuff, and they step in there and give these stupid motherfuckers something to think about. But Canadian men, they get their video camera out and stand back and video it. You know, they don't step up. I haven't seen anything where a Canadian man is stepping up against a Muslim and fucking saying, hey, you stupid motherfucker. But I did see a woman say, hey, clean up your fucking mess in Canada. A woman, not a guy. Let me pull that up for you.
Right?
This government is a failure.
Oh, first we
It
got to
was a
hear
failure under
this.
Trudeau, and unless some miracle happens in the next little while, it's continuing to be a big failure under Carney. I met with Mark Carney numerous times when he was governor of the Bank of Canada, and he's not a dumb guy. Let's face it, he's not a dumb guy, and he's had this sort of accomplished global career in bureaucracy. What strikes me is people think he's a businessman. He's not a businessman. He's never run a business. He's never met a payroll. He's never done the regular things somebody that was savvy about business would do. And that was shown in spades. He had a TV interview back in Atlantic Canada. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was one of the Atlantic provinces. And he was talking about how much steel do we use? As if steel was some kind, like the tariffs on steel weren't a big deal because we didn't use much. Are you kidding? I mean, that is a fundamental ignorance of the importance of a very, key industry in Canada. It's huge to the auto sector. It's huge to so much manufacturing. When I saw that, I thought, whoa, you might have your PhD in economics, but that doesn't mean you understand the economy from the ground level and what is really important in terms of policies. The fact that all of those negative pieces of legislation I was mentioning earlier, emissions caps and things squelching our oil and gas sector, the fact that they're still there speaks volumes. If you're an investor and you say, well, this guy's he's got this legislation that permits him to override these things. So if he can override them, he's acknowledging they're bad, right? Why would he have to override them if they were good? But he's not removing them. And the concentration of power has always been in the Prime Minister's office has always been excessive, in my opinion, but it's even more so now. So here he is, the King of Canada, who wants to have a personal decision as to what he thinks will be right for the country. That kind of, nobody's that smart. I'm sorry. You need a lot more, you need a lot more intelligence to be devoted to policy than any one person can bring to the table. Also, the fact that he's still got all the old retreads, or most of the old retreads from the Trudeau days. And, there's a lot of talk that he has trouble with his caucus because they still want to follow all this nutty climate stuff that increasingly is shown to be a gigantic waste of money, and effectively impoverishes people. So, there's an awful lot of messages: less government, lower taxes, more streamlined processes for approving projects, open up our resource sector, permit that number one sector in the economy in terms of export earnings is oil and gas. And yet we're squelching it. I mean, how ridiculous is that? So those are obviously interprovincial trade barriers too. They still exist. Every single government says, oh, we're going to solve that problem. Well, it's not solved yet. So that's yet another thing internally we could do. There's a ton we can do to improve our own economy with no other involvement from any other government or Orange Man bad or whatever it happens to be. And we want to see the government and voters' eye on the ball. And the ball is what we can control and what we can improve in our own house. And then we'll be better off. No question about it. Instead of continuing policies that have failed so abysmally, I can't believe anybody can support them anymore, unless they're pocketing money. Because let's face it, a lot of people have made a ton of money from the whole climate stuff. And that's the real story, is how much we average folks have been robbed to line the pockets of people friendly to the government.
Okay, let me find
Well,
this.
this is something that the
Let
government.
me find this.
What about Kingstown?
I want to see this. Here it is.
Here to celebrate Canada with my girls. We're Indigenous. We're Métis. We're Cree. We're Lakota.
I respect you.
Okay,
You share
great.
your land with us.
Look at it.
We share our land. We don't treat our land like this. All of you should be ashamed. Pick up some garbage. No, you're not. Look at all the garbage everywhere. It doesn't work that way. We don't wait till the event's over, because what happens if the rain comes in the rain comes in, the wind picks up, all this garbage gets picked up. Where are the people going around to pick it up? I'm here to enjoy it. I'm not making the mess. You are. Look, you have the garbage in your hand. Look at the garbage. You're not picking it up. Who's out there picking it up?
We respect what you're saying, but the event is not done yet.
It should not look like this when the event is going.
Yeah, so you can talk with management.
This is not how we treat Canada.
You can.
I ask everybody to bend over and pick up some garbage and put it in a garbage bag, because if you respect this land, you won't leave trash laying around like this. This is not how we treat our mother, our earth.
Yeah, after event you can see here, and if anything will be there, we are responsible.
I don't know why you're not picking it up in the first place.
You know how
Do you see us cleaning it up? We're picking it up as we're going.
It shouldn't be like this in the first place. Excuse me, don't tell me to relax.
Well, then don't come here yelling at us, right?
It's all on Facebook. It's all being posted. It's all being posted. Good, because this is not how we treat Canada.
Thank you.
Good. I look forward to seeing it in an hour when it's all cleaned up and done at 3 o'clock. Right. Perfect. See? So lovely.
Let me show you something.
I'd like the name and number of the management people, please. You can post this, because you can show just how disrespectful all of the people at this event are. just by posting it. Because I've got YouTube.
Okay, this is the page, and read this. What is written?
Yeah. Right. Perfect. Yes. So you guys, yeah, I see that. Why is the land? This is the land. You guys are, we're sharing it with you, and you guys throw your trash on it.
Argument, not understanding what
Because nobody's picking it up.
Just leave it. Just leave it.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'm going to continue to just take a video of all the garbage laying around. Good. Absolutely disgusting. Look at this. Look. Where's the garbage is to put the garbage away? Is this a garbage? Nope, not garbage. This is fucking absolutely disgusting. Yeah, it makes me, I'm the one that's doing this. Right here. Like, this is so disgusting. I just want to.
Not a man, a woman in Canada standing up to these people that just think it's okay to throw their garbage anywhere in our country. I mean, just all over the fucking place on Canada Day. Or whatever it was. Wearing a little Canadian flag there. Or a little Canadian emblem on his shirt there. Oh, whoopee, whoopee. We're in Canada. We get to trash the place because we have no respect. And he's talking to that girl like she doesn't know what she's talking about. That's the men we have in Canada.
Can we leave?
This is scary, and this is no joke. Check this out.
The number of military-age males that have entered the UK illegally via small boats now exceeds the total available soldiers to the British Army.
Go figure. Well, anyway, that's my show for today. And yeah, it's another rant. Another rant because I'm watching my country go down the shithole. While they take away our rights and our freedoms and our... Fuck, if they could take our body parts and sell them too, they'll go for that too. Canada has become a very disgusting place. To be honest with you. To be quite honest with you. Canada has become a shithole. Long and short of it. So enjoy your shithole, Canadians. I don't know what to tell you next, but I'll think of something. Anyway, my hat's off to the women that have been... My hat's off to the women that have been standing up for this country because it sure don't look like too many men are doing it. So, my hat's off to you women. And I don't know what to tell you. I guess we'll just keep going down the shithole in Canada. What is it? Data centers are coming up next, gonna pop up all over the place in Canada, and nobody's gonna say anything or do anything. Oh, wait a minute. There was a big protest in Vancouver over data centers, by the way, but not the rest of the country. Might want to have a look at that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it for my rant today. I don't know what else to tell you, because it's getting pretty fucked up in this country. Nobody's doing shit about anything. In fact, nobody even came to the rally. And the woman that I sent to the hospital, there was a comment in there, what happened to the woman? Well, when I went to check up on the woman, they wouldn't tell me a fucking thing. So I don't know what happened to her, but I sent her to the hospital because she needed medical attention. And that's all I know about that. So I hope I made her day. And as my closing remark or song, we'll go with this one, I think. I think it's just very appropriate.
Been beat down, but I don't stay low. Got mud on my jeans, still ready to go. Every scar's a story that I survived. I've been through hell, but I'm still alive. They said, slow down, boy, don't go too fast. But I ain't never been one to live in the past. I keep moving forward, never looking back, with a worn-out hat and a six-string strap. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down. I was born to rise. So kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. I've lost some friends, made a few new foes, but
Hang on a minute. I'm going to show you something. Here's how negative and here's out of touch some people in Canada are. Here, look at this. Look at this. There was no rally. Okay. I got it to back it up, motherfucker. Okay. What I just said, and here says there was no rally. Hang on. I'll tell you what, buddy. I'll tell you what. There was no rally, he says. Look at this. There was no rally, he says. Group. He says there was no rally. No rally that I just said. That I just said. Okay? No rally, huh? No rally, huh? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute. I'll have to do this song all over again. What? Turn up. Oh. What's going on here? They don't want me. Oh, for fuck's sake. Look at this. Fucking bullshit. Hang on. I'll figure this out. Okay. I'll figure it out. Just give me a sec. I'll do it. I'll fucking show it to you. I'll show it to you. I'll prove it. Okay? I'll prove it. Because people think I talk bullshit. Okay? I don't talk bullshit. Here it is. I'll find it. I got it. Right here. Right here.
Large and a loud crowd moved through Vancouver Saturday with one clear message: no AI data centers in British Columbia.
The change is happening so quickly without any explanation why. So that's why I'm here. I think we all have to be concerned and worried and be here.
The protest comes weeks after the federal government and TELUS unveiled plans for 2 new AI data centers and the expansion of a third in BC, saying they're needed to strengthen Canada's AI infrastructure.
It's just been pushed through very quickly without a lot of government regulation.
We don't think are the best use of funds in our community.
No rally, huh? Well, what do you call that? Some kind of figment of my imagination? Go figure, eh? Fucking retard. Why don't you open up your fucking eyes, moron?
And
now let me explain again. Or I mean, do my song again. Because it seems like somebody really got my attention. Call me a liar on my show. No rally. Nobody ever did that. Well, there it was.
we're seeing some very impressive year-over-year.
There it was. I don't lie on my channel. You should listen to this song.
Been beat down, but I don't stay low. Got mud on my jeans, still ready to go. Every scar's a story that I survived. I've been through hell, but I'm still alive. They said, slow down, boy, don't go too fast. But I ain't never been one to live in the past. I keep moving forward, never looking back, with a worn-out hat and a 6-string staff. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down. I was born to rise, so kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. I've lost some friends, made a few new foes, but that's just life, that's how it goes. I ain't bending over just to please a crowd. If I fall down, I'll fall down proud. I talk my truth, I live my way. Ain't nobody gonna take my say. This road's been rough, but I learned the trade. It's sweat, soul, and dues I paid. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down. I was born to rise, so kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Let the haters talk, let the rumors fly. I ain't got time to wonder why. The good Lord knows the man I am, and I'll die standing tall with a mic in my hand. You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't selling my soul for a seat at your table. I'm rough, I'm raw, I'm wild, I'm able. You can hate my fire, but you can't kill my spark. I'm a midnight flame burning through the dark. So kick them rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. You can kick rocks. You can kick rocks. You can kick rocks. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining the broadcast and listening to a little bit of what's really going on in Canada. Here, look at this. Right on. Listen, look at this. Love to see you. Get in touch. Send me a message. I'll hook up with you. I'm in Cherryville. And maybe some of those liberals might want to come and see me too. Just send me a message. I'd love to see ya. Oh, I would love to see ya. Oh, I wouldn't mind seeing you liberal motherfuckers at all. But no, this is not a liberal. This is a fan. But yes. Dennis, in a few weeks, and possible meet up with you, Rudy. I have a great chat. Right on in Cherryville. Look me up. Hold the line. Yeah, let's see that one. I'd like to see that. I've played that one on my my broadcast as well. But no, not even a liberal came to the rally. Nobody came to the rally. But an 81-year-old woman came to my rally, and I had to send her to the hospital because she needed medical attention. Go figure. And it was raining shit, cats, and dogs that weekend, so we really didn't miss out. So whatever. Oh, somebody says, I'm confused as to why men will fight the government's proxy wars, but not fight for their own country. Look at that. Unbelievable. Hey, we held the Ontario Liberals show up and laughed them off the property with a viral thrashing. Good one. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, guys, that's my thoughts for today. Stand up for your country. Carney, kiss my ass. And take all your bills with you. Fuck off, you motherfucking elbows up freak who doesn't pay any taxes in Canada. And he's nothing but a fucking lowlife snake in the grass. If that isn't good enough, I don't know what is. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just getting the word out there. I hope to see you, if I'm not off the air, next Friday, 6 o'clock. See you then. Till next time, thanks for joining.